Alright, hello viewers out there. I welcome you once again to yet another section on my YouTube channel, Rediscover Your Touch. I'll actually be taking you through the first theorem on circles, and I'll really be explaining the theorem as well as to how we can really apply this theorem in our illustrative examples. I am your host, Ebenezer Pobi, and I'll urge you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel, to like this video and share among your colleagues as well who might be in need of this knowledge. Alright, so I trust we can set sail. We are practically taking on theorem 1 of our circle theorem, that is actually plane geometry 2, and we'll be discussing how important or crucial this theorem 1 really is to helping our cognitive understanding. So without wasting my time, I'll go on to explain the theorem here, and then I'll illustrate it on the diagram, and then we'll actually learn how to identify it in illustrative examples. Alright, so let's commence. Theorem 1 states that an angle at the center of a circle is twice any angle at the circumference standing on either the same chord or an arc. Standing on either the same chord or an arc. In our previous lessons, I discussed with you guys the path of a circle. So when we are actually identifying the chord as in question here, as illustrated on the board, our chord is PR, right? Our chord is PR. This area or portion below the chord or between the chord and the arc is actually what we term as our segment, and our arc is actually PQR. That is our arc. So you realize that this angle at the center and connected to the angle at the circumference are on the same chord PR, or otherwise they are standing, if not the same chord, the same arc PQR. Alright, so the statement, as I'll read again, is that an angle at the center of a circumference is twice any angle at the circumference of the same chord or standing on the same arc. So we are actually talking about the circumference here. So this is the angle we are talking about, and we are being taught that any angle which is being formed or depicted at the circumference of a circle is twice that of the center. Okay, so we are actually going to have the angle at the center to be twice whichever angle we'll be having at our circumference. So supposing I have my angle at the circumference to be K. Alright, suppose I have my angle at my circumference to be presented as K. That means per the theorem 1 that we are actually discussing, it means that I'll have twice that at the center. So that portrays to give me 2K. And if we are really translating it to real life money time, that's actually some huge amount of money, right? So we'll actually leave that there. So like I stated, the meaning or the deliberations on theorem 1, it is which states that the angle at the center should be or must be twice any angle formed at the circumference on the same chord. So as I've depicted, if my angle at my circumference is K, then that means I'm going to have twice that of the K, and that is what translates to give me 2K. Alright, so how well do we manipulate this theorem in aspects of answering our question? How do we manipulate this theorem in aspects of what? Having getting our answers on illustrative examples. So mathematically, we are really going to have 2K is equal to K. 2K is equal to K. So you realize that sometimes in our example, we are either going to have a value, that means a figure, at the angle on the circumference or at the circumference, and we'll be asked to find the angle at the center, or we'll be given the angle at the center and we'll be tasked with finding the angle at the circumference. So as far as you know the relation that 2k is equal to the angle at the circumference of the circle, then it means that we are either going to make change of subject with respect or regards to having our answer. And for that matter, I'll provide an illustrative example that will be tackling in my next video, and we shall really see how well we can compare these two phenomena under the same theorem. So my next example will be tackling two examples concurrently to show the differences that I've actually explained here. So on that note, I'll actually be drawing curtains on my today's deliberation on Theorem 1 so as not to confuse you guys out there. And like I stated, in my next video, I'll make it clear to you why I've stated this mathematical expression with regards to understanding Theorem 1, which states that an angle at the center of a circle is twice any angle at the circumference standing on the same chord or arc. And I've also diagrammatically expressed it on the board. And in that sense, I trust you guys really understand the tenets of this Theorem 1. I wish you all guys well, and I trust that you really be diligently pursuing to attain and understand this aspect of circle theorem. And in that sense, we'll actually be putting in little effort in order to make it a bigger impact on our own lives in aspect of adding value to ourselves. So once again, I'll urge you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rediscover Your Touch, and also like and share this video among your colleagues out there who might be in need of this knowledge, so that we'll all be helping one another to make it there big time one day. Bye, and kudos to you all. Cheers.